Good morning, my bass brethren. Today we are going to be taking a look at a 1968 Gibson Melody Maker bass. I picked this up off the local Craigslist. I'm very happy with it. For the most part, it's complete. The body has been refinished, but that's okay. It's still a really cool find out in the wild these days. The Melody Maker bass was a student bass marketed by Gibson. It shares many of the features of the Gibson EBO. The body shape, mahogany construction, the neck is mahogany. The pickup is the same pickup that you find on the EBO, the Mudbucker. The bridge is the same for this period. What we lovingly call the Tilt-O-Matic. It's the 2-point bridge, as you can see. It does have a propensity to tilt forward. That's what it does. So that's why we call it the Tilt-O-Matic. Even by 1968, the Gibson EBO had pretty much fallen out of favor for the Gibson EB3, and Fender products had really started to take over. These basses are a one-trick pony with this EBO pickup. It's rated at about 30K resistance, and it's all thump. All low end, full, rich, but it's a problem cutting through. They were difficult to record. But it doesn't necessarily make it a bad bass. It was starting to lose its way in the market by 1968. Again, this was a student bass. Gibson altered the EBO. They changed the pick guard. They did the routing from on top for the controls instead of going through the back, like on the Gibson EBO. So there's no route on the back, but it is routed on the front. They used less expensive tuners on it. I quite honestly, from a manufacturing standpoint, these changes that they made, they're minuscule, they're minute. I don't know how they actually saved a lot of money on these to market them to students. One of the interesting things and a real problem with these basses is the EBO pickup is mounted on top of the pick guard. Now the pick guard should be cut so that can drop down about 1/16 of an inch, because without that, you get this. The notes are ringing true. It frets out on the pickup. So in order to get this to play all the way up the upper register, you have to raise the bridge, which raises the action and makes it more difficult to play down here. So if I were going to keep this bass, I would probably make a new pick guard for it and save the original. These basses are rather rare. I hate to start cutting them up like I used to do in the past. They called me the butcher. But anyhow, that's one deficiency to be aware of when you purchase one of these basses. But other than that, it's all here. The only pieces that are missing are the palm rest, and somebody's installed non-stock strap buttons, but it's a nice unbroken, though body refinished example. Originally this color would have been a metallic burgundy in lacquer. It's really not an expensive job to do. You could probably have it done between $250 to $300 to bring this bass back, and in my opinion that would be well worth it. But here's what it sounds like. Makes me want to play Alice Cooper. That's what she sounds like, all mud, full, in your face. Live, these are killer basses. They really, you have to have an amp that can tolerate it, in particular the speakers. They're just brutal on speakers. Another unknown, I'll say little known fact is on some of the Led Zeppelin recordings, John Paul Jones used the Gibson EB1, which is the same mahogany construction and the same pickup. You might recognize this tone. So there it is, the 1968 Gibson Melody Maker bass. I really like it. Sadly, I'm probably going to sell it because I have a lot of Gibson EBs in the collection. But I thought you guys might like to see it before she goes on her way. So take care, and I'll see you next time. Keep on rocking.